Morning everybody, it's the 26th of May and we're at Sedges this morning. I'm quite excited actually because it's the Topkit League again. It's that time of year. I'm in B section, so there's 20 of us fishing on Tile Lake. Every peg's in. I say Topkit, it is Topkit League, but it's a 3-meter league because people's top kits all measure differently. So that was decided a few years ago, but it's a cracking league. It's quite interesting fishing. I absolutely love it, and I've brought meat. I'm going to be fishing meat. I haven't fished meat now for months. I love meat fishing, so it might be a little bit rusty to start with. Hopefully as the match goes on we'll sort of suss it out. It's quite interesting, as I say. It's all about getting the feeding right. I'm just going to go and have a breakfast now, and I'll see you on the bank, and let's hope we're bungo. Sprung bolt, 5 number 9s, 016 6 inches, 016 16 9 11, a heavy plummet, 4x12 reed, 2 number 8 backdrop. Float again, 4x16, because we're swinging the rig out. It might get, also the rig's out past the end of the pole, so if we do get wind later in tow, that could affect it a bit. So a little bit more shot, but then sprung out. 6-foot length, 016, 16 D9 11, so virtually the same, 16 arm and move. We're going to put a couple of number 8s now, spread out. Edge, not really expecting to catch on this, but I put it up to that time. So 5 number 8s, just a sort of spread bolt really. We've got what? 2 and a bit, 2.4, 2.6. Quite a robust, positive 0.4 threading crystal.
For joining me everybody. As you've probably seen, we fed down our right hand edge straight away because that's where we were going to look first, and then fed in front of us, and the plan was really is to just to look down that edge, see if there was a quick carp mooching about, and also to give that in front 5 minutes to just get 1 or 2 fish congregated there. But it's actually 18 minutes into the match and we've not had a liner even, so that already is telling me a little bit of a story. We are fishing right on top of the feed at the moment, as you can see, but it is sort of saying that, you know, they're hardly climbing over themselves for it, are they? And we're off anyway, so that's a good sign. But it's took longer than I anticipated, I have to admit. So I'm playing 29. I don't really mind where I draw down here, because I think what you do is critical to where you end up. You know, I do think I'm not saying you can win the match off of absolutely any peg, But I think you can certainly frame or win the section or your bank, if you like, off of any peg without a doubt. To win on the day, I think you need a little bit of luck, like the wind blowing in or one of the sort of predominant corners. So we got another skimmer there, but as you can see, that was on our long line past the feed. So that's telling me a little bit of a story already, really. That's the little things you've got to read on these sort of matches. They're not really confident to come over the feed. Or not at the moment, anyway. That's all a bit awkward, isn't it? Not much elastic, it's all a bit awkward, but we have hooked the skimmer down the edge, so it's a handy little bonus for nothing, that really, isn't it? Only went down there to give it a rest in front. So again, the long line off the back there. And we fed nothing out that far. We feed to the end of this 3 meters all the time. We never ever feed further. We want to drop back past that, down the shelf to pick up these odd skimmers. I never want to throw out to them because they'll just back away more. It's the same if I stayed there and just completely and utterly fished it out. I mean, as slow as it is, but if I stayed there and caught 3 or 4 on the trot, say, over a, I don't know, half hour, 40-minute period or something, they'd back away even further, then they'd be out of reach. I think that's the key in these sort of matches. So we went down the edge to give them a little bit of a break, and what a lovely fish.
Yeah, about 2.5 pounds. Lovely fish.
So the 3 meter league itself and how it works speaks for itself really. In the distance you can fish, obviously, it's 3 meters. So a lot of people have either butchered old landing net handles that they can get into their top kits, or number 4s, or some people's top kits, believe it or not, are 3 meters or very close to it. Mine personally is a Daiwa, so I got my number 2 and number 3. My 2's cut back quite a way. I do like my top kit short, and so with a short 4 on there, it's 2.95 meters, so I'm 50 mil or 2 inches, if you like, old money, off of the 3 meters, which is fine by me. And the other rules are you can't add any sections, not for any fish running away, not for plumbing up. There shouldn't be any other sections apart from 3 meters in length on the bank around your peg. And also you can use line as long as that 3 meters, but no longer. And that's pretty much the rules. They're simple, aren't they? We find it interesting. It's quite different. So back to the match in hand. We're an hour in now, and I think we got around £10 of silver. So it's quite slow when you consider you catch a couple of mugfish in that early stage. You know, I mean, it did take us a while to find the first ones, I must admit. And we've actually got one right over the feed there, so that's promising. Let's hope that keeps up. But I'm happy enough for that. £10 an hour. I always think if you're going into the last 2 hours in this league and you got £30 in your net, you're all right. So from what I can see and what I'm hearing from the bankside grapevine, as it were, is it is fishing hard. Jess in the corner on my left has had one carp and some skimmers. He has foul hooked two carp as well, and we've not even had a liner from a carp. So I just think it's because he's in the corner, and there was a few there milling around early in the match. But and the weather, oh my word, we've had some rain, we've had some storms. You're absolutely drenched one minute, and the next it stops, the sun comes out, and you're boiling. And I've got to take the jacket back off. It really is up and down. It really is Jack on Hyde at the moment. But no complaints. We're fishing, and it's all good, isn't it? So, so from what I'm sensing, fishing wise, and I can see the people on the opposite bank, even though I can't see them down my own side, if you like, because of all the sort of rushes grown up, which I really like, to be honest. Very pretty, and you're sort of sat in your own little secluded peg. But from what I can see and what I'm hearing, it is fishing difficult. So I think the game plan at the moment for me is just to keep trickling a bit of meat in, um, and then just fish off the back like we are, catch a couple of fish, then come back in, try over the feed, see if anything's come over that, or try over the feed before we go long past the feed, catch a couple, refeed it. I put in a little bit of micro in the big pot, sort of not massive, sort of 50 mil of micro. I'm hoping to up that once carp start to show, but I do feel it's going to be late today. And then I'm trying down that edge every now and then, as you've seen, just to give it a break in front. But the skimmers are supercharged down here, aren't they? Like porpoises. The dominant pegs down there in the corners have always been good, but I don't like being in them because they are a little bit hit and miss. But I mean, if you had to pick a couple of corners down here, you'd always say 40 and 21, which are to my right. Corner peg on my left is 30, and the one opposite there 31. But to my right is peg 21 this side, the end peg in the corner, and opposite him is peg 40. I've drawn them both once, and I think I had the first time I ever fished this league, I drew peg 40 and had £205 in this league, which is a fantastic day's fishing, isn't it? And then I drew 21 in the final and won it with £165. It's a few years back. I've never got anywhere near both pegs ever since. It's funny that, isn't it, when you turn up to a place, you draw really well, and then you get to know a place and you never get anywhere near it again. It's quite a common theme, actually, chatting to people. So a small roach there, not an ideal sign, is it, on 7mm meat? They sort of wither it down a little bit, don't they, and get it. So that gives me the sort of permission in my own head to feed it again, look. So 50-60mm micros, 20-25 pieces of 7mm meat. Then off the back of the feed, look, 10 minutes later, and we're playing a decent skimmer. Oh, we were. So only 90 minutes left now, so I've started to fish over the feed a little bit more. And what I'm really looking for now is no more knocks and things from roach on it. What I'm looking for is a stationary float, no knocks, and that'll tell me that there's There's a big fish there. So still very quiet over the feed. So we've gone off the back again at the moment. And we even go down the edge just to give it a little rest. It's concerningly slow, actually. I've had a good run of skimmers, but we need some carp now. There's a few people on the lakes had some carp. We haven't had any. So the carp were invited to the party, but they came very late, didn't they? But I'm just happy they're here now. It's our third one. Um, we've got about 30 minutes left to go. So it's not been fast, nothing like it, but they're good. They're good weighing fish, and they make a difference. They really do. But we switched, as you've seen, and I switched to 8mm meat now, throwing in a few cubes of 8 as well, trying to be a little bit more selective, trying to get the meat to go down there that little bit quicker as well. And I'm trying to feed, I mean, the perfect scenario is when you hook a carp to feed the meat then, because there's no way you're going to foul hook one, is there? Because you're already hooked up on one. So that's the ideal scenario if you can be getting enough bites and catching enough of them. That's not always the case, and it isn't really the case today. They've got quite cute on it, you know. There's a lot of little tricks now you've got to use with the meat. They have got compared to when I first come down here doing this league, probably, oh, what was that? Probably 6 years ago. I really had the meat fishing order myself, and yeah, it was wonderful. It was absolute carnage. So you probably notice I've got a longish line to the float, and that's because I use a couple of back shot. and also so as I can sit that top kit on my knee as well and not be at an angle of it sort of. If I had a really short line, which I know people like doing for carp fishing in general, especially with some of the speed of the meat bites, etc., or pellet bites, you know, you use a short line, but I'd have to have the top kit at such an angle down to the water, it wouldn't be comfortable. You're sat here for 6 hours doing this, so you need to be comfortable. So I just use a longer line, and I can move those couple of number eights up and down to, if I want to just put that float a few more inches past the feed, you know. This feels heavy. Yeah, just what the doctor ordered, this one. Nice big weigher. In this league, if you get fish over 15 pound, and there's a fair few in this lake, then you have to weigh them straight away. If you don't weigh them, then the fish are disqualified. This one's not 15 pound, but he's not a million miles off it. Yeah, he definitely feels heavy. You notice we keep feeding that meat, always keep feeding that meat. Safest time to feed it, to not foul hook fish, is when you're playing a fish. Yeah, it's big fish and they're at a premium today, so I'm not going to rush it, as you can see. I mean, it's 016 hook length, which is fine. And you can understand now why there wasn't much elastic coming out when we're playing those skimmers, and that is quite a fine balance, isn't it? To be able to have elastic soft enough to not pull out the skimmers, but heavy enough to get these big carp up in this deep water when you need to as well. And for me, that's Dave Wilmot's green elastic and those 16 hook length, as you've seen earlier. It's a nice balance. Yeah, he's a proper nodder, isn't he, this one? Lovely. Yeah, he's about 13 to 14 pound, somewhere around there. Nice big skimmer right over the feed again. Only 10 minutes of the match left. The only person I've seen fishing, catching well is Sean. I can see it at an angle up in peg 40 in the corner. I think he's definitely ahead of me. Um, I haven't seen anybody else catching loads, so we'll have to see. It's a 3 match series. Um, all three of your results count. 20 points for last, 1 point for first. All three put together. Top 10 from Group A, top 10 from Group B, meet in the final of 20.